But check this out. We're looking at things from Europe and across the world that make the U.S. feel like it's living in the past. That's the name of this. I actually found this on my phone, and then I pulled it up on the computer here. But they have changed the name at some point. So there's proof that there's what it's called on the phone, right? To make the U.S. says that make the U.S. feels like it's living in the past, right? And then, of course, now it says that, feels like they're from the year 3000. I don't know about that, but let's check it out. So first up, you have the Netherlands here. They have swings that you can charge your phones with at the Hague or the Hague Central. I mean, look at that. It's kind of cool. I mean, I've never seen a swing like that. Definitely not. It's kind of cool, though. You swing and it charges your phone. Like, what an incentive, right? You get some fun swings in, get moving a little bit, and you can charge your phone all in the process. It's pretty wild, and I can safely say I've never seen that anywhere in the U.S. In London, there's a bar where you can get a drink with a levitating glass. Now, that's pretty cool, I got to admit. I mean, I'm sure there's some crazy bars, in big cities in the U.S., like maybe in New York or Las Vegas or somewhere where you can, have some interesting tricks, but I haven't personally witnessed a levitating glass. That sounds pretty cool. So there you go. Amsterdam has free menstruation stations for anyone who needs sanitary products. Now, that's pretty cool. This is something I definitely can relate to on that very specific thing. But I assume that's really nice because I haven't really seen any free stations like this that offer things of that nature. So I don't think that's very common at all in the U.S. I think that's really neat, actually. Trains in Seoul show you how crowded each car is. That's actually pretty neat, right? That's something that's very practical and useful, right? It shouldn't really be considered fancy, but here it is. Unfortunately, I don't even take public transport at all, right? It's just so car dependent. At least my situation is here in the U.S., and I'm going to assume that we don't have exactly that kind of system here. This German restaurant has a mini soccer game in the urinal. So, yeah, I could safely say, I don't know how futuristic this is, right, to go with the article here, but I have to say it's pretty cool. And, I could safely say I've never seen that at a urinal here in the U.S. There you go. In Germany, you just never know what you're going to find. Okay, now this is a little bit next level. It's kind of ridiculous, but in a good way. This urinal in London had an actual driving game where you could control the car with your pee direction. I don't know who thinks of this stuff, but there you go. Wow. Even peeing in different countries is just an experience. Wow, I've been missing out. Bars and event spaces in Germany, especially those participating in Oktoberfest, have a puke sink. Now, isn't that cool? Again, never seen that. Kind of clever, though, especially when you're going to partake in some heavy drinking events like that. Someone's bound to puke. There, you got a dedicated spot for it. Makes it easier on everyone. Look at these. These are in-ground. What? In-ground trampolines in Berlin, of course, in Germany. That is wild. That's a really cool-looking park. Look at the parents are just chilling. The kids are on these little trampolines. Obviously, make sure they're careful, right? I wouldn't trust some kids on those. But that is actually really nifty. I've never seen anything like that and just chilling in a random park. There's a museum in London with slanted sinks that get shorter and shorter for kids of all heights. Now, that's kind of clever. That is kind of clever. Again, never seen that. Remember, a lot of these are kind of fun. They're kind of gimmicky, right? I mean, it's not like this is commonplace throughout London. It's not like this is commonplace throughout Europe. I probably should have said that in the beginning. But look, use your imagination. It's kind of cool. Some of them might be somewhat commonplace or somewhat legit, though. Like, anything with like the public transport or certain ways they do things in more of a day-to-day thing, then of course that's going to apply and be like, wow, the U.S. should try, catching up on that kind of thing. Whereas this is cool, but it's of course not common. In Singapore, some supermarkets use digital price markers so workers don't have to spend a ton of time replacing all the paper ones. Now that's cool. I have to say in supermarkets, yeah, it's usually paper ones here in the U.S. I have seen digital price markers, but I guess I've seen them at like Kohl's or other more department stores, not necessarily grocery or supermarkets. But yeah, I've seen this in the U.S. It's just not common. It would make sense in a grocery store. That is kind of cool. Norway has a 24/7 grocery store with no attendance. You just use self-checkout. I feel like I've heard of this before in certain places in the world. That is really neat. There are test stores I hear from like Amazon stores and certain, I think it's rare, but I think there are stores in certain big cities like Seattle and maybe some other areas that do have, cashier-less stores in the U.S., but it's not commonplace, and I don't think it will or ever will be commonplace. There's just too much like theft and crazy stuff here a lot of times in big cities that I don't think that would be feasible. But that's really neat, right? The 24/7 thing is shocking because that's one thing the U.S. at least used to be good at. We used to have a lot of like 24-hour stores. Ever since, of course, the pandemic happened a few years ago, a lot of stores got away from that, unfortunately, which sucked just because it was kind of nice to be able to go anytime you wanted. But yeah, that's shocking to see because I thought a lot of other countries didn't do that typically. This mall in Berlin, may I say, looks pretty nice. Has an awesome slide. Look at that. It's actually a little bit, I mean, if you look how big it is, it's a little bit terrifying, if I'm being honest. But it's really cool. Maybe Mall of America has cool stuff like that, but in Minnesota, the famous Mall of America. But your typical malls won't be decorated quite like that. That is pretty unique and pretty cool. I don't know. I guess I would try it. It feels like look at it. It's 2 stories. That's big. I mean, look how small the guy looks down there compared to the whole slide. Yikes. Even office buildings in London. There you go. Slides again. I like that. What is with the slides? It's kind of cool, right? I can't argue with it. Iceland has park benches with footrests. Now that's clever. Wow. I can't say that I've seen that. That's actually pretty neat. Belgium has a really cool bike path that descends through a lake, so you can feel like Moses parting the Red Sea. That is hella freaky. Oh my God. I hate like going on, like I don't have a bridge phobia, so to say, but if it's like a really massive bridge over a really massive body of water, I do get freaked out a little bit if you're on like in a car or a bus or whatever. This is straight up even more freaky because look at the water's right up to the edge and you're riding a bicycle. So I feel like even though it's all the same, if you're underwater, you're underwater, but I feel like you're even more vulnerable just in my head. That is freaky, man. It's cool. But also like, whoa, that would be weird. This trash can in Sweden has Wi-Fi so that people are more likely to go near it and throw away trash. Well, that's kind of cool. That's something I would never think of. That is one thing that's been a pet peeve my whole life. I hate when people are messy and throw trash on the ground and stuff. It seems to be a really bad problem lately, where I live. Like, there's just trash everywhere, always on the streets and in public places. And it's like, dude, like, I do my part. I try and pick up stuff. I never throw stuff on the ground. I never litter. Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, dude, get up, throw stuff away. Don't be lazy, right? It's so easy to just be clean. But, yeah, this is like a really fancy trash can. I will say that. It is, I can safely say I've never seen a trash can quite like that. Maybe it would entice people to, take a look at it, use a Wi-Fi, and, hey, in turn, be nice. Throw stuff away where it's supposed to go. This beach in Zadar, Croatia, has a wheelchair ramp into the sea, along with special wheelchairs meant for use and attendants to assist those who use wheelchairs. Now, that's really cool. Actually, I can't speak for this because I wouldn't know. I've never really sought this out. But, the U.S. does tend to be, I've heard, one of the most, handicap-friendly countries, right, when it comes to ramps and wheelchair access and things like that. So I'm pretty sure we, probably have something like this. At least I've heard that we're really good on that. So I'll throw that out there. But just looking at this is really cool, right? This is crazy. There's a Burger King in Vienna, Austria that only sells vegan food. Look at that, 100% vegan. Wow. That's bizarre. I mean, there's like a couple vegan items, like even a vegan, a Whopper, at U.S. Burger Kings. But, obviously most of the, 90% of the menu is not vegan. So that is really, really bizarre. It'd be cool to actually see the full menu. That's very impressive. Wow, Vienna. That's cool. There's a supermarket in Germany with a magnifying glass attached to all shopping carts to help you read receipts if the print is difficult for you to read. That's neat. What? That's nifty. That's like another practical thing that is actually really cool and makes you think like, wait, why doesn't all grocery stores have this or supermarkets? In Switzerland, little robots deliver the mail. Look at that. Oh my God, that is so cool. Yeah, never seen that in my neighborhood. This is in Switzerland as well. This is very cool. This grocery store in Switzerland gives away leftover greens that would otherwise be trash for free so people with small pets like guinea pigs or bunnies can make use of them. See, I love things where you can just reuse things, where something that would just be thrown away can actually be used for a purpose. This is a great example of that. That's neat. This gas station in Switzerland allows you to not only listen to music as you pump your gas, but choose what type you'd like. First of all, the gas pumps all throughout Europe are so interesting to me. They just look weird. They look so different. So look at all the choices there, the way they are. They're very like vertical oriented here. Wow. That is crazy. What is this? Diesel, and then what's that? What's the orange one? I can't read. It's some sort of other diesel. Wow. And then of course your regular petrol or gasoline, right? Your different octanes. That's interesting. And then yeah, that's what they were talking about. You can choose different music: rock, pop, classic, and Schlager and Landler, whatever those mean. That is very interesting. Wow. You all you get here is, a lot of gas pumps will have like a little TV, and it's literally like a network, a made-up network, and it says like gas station TV. It's about all we get here. This you actually get to choose from some music. That's pretty cool. Turkey has public cat food dispensers for street cats. Now that's interesting. Whoa, in Denmark, you can rent not only books at libraries, but also art? You can rent art? That is so bizarre. Someone in the comments, like, I guess, give me a scenario where you would rent art. Like, that is something I've never done. That's very interesting. I've never heard of that. I thought this was really funny. This one says, this bidet in Thailand was quite comprehensive. As you can see, it's very, detailed bidet. A lot of different options, down to water pressure, nozzle position, and basically everything else you could think of. What I really found funny was it's made by a company that you would see in bathrooms all over the U.S., at least public bathrooms, and that's literally American Standard. That logo, I totally recognize it. They make a lot of stuff that goes inside, public bathrooms here in the U.S. And, of course, you will never find a bidet here in the U.S., at least in a public bathroom. People in their own house might have it. It's starting to catch on from what I hear, but a lot of public bathrooms would not have this. So I found that pretty funny that like American Standard makes this bidet, this fancy bidet, as a matter of fact, but they literally don't make it for like, America. It's kind of interesting, right? In the Berlin airport, there's a cord running across the whole floor in a bathroom in case you fall and need assistance. That's actually really, really nifty. Yeah, that thing, that's, anything safety related like that should probably be like more standard across like a lot of places, right? So that's smart. This is cool, I gotta admit. Another practical thing that I wouldn't have thought of. New Zealand has reversible public benches. As you can see, like the lever there, you can sit this way, or you can flip this back this way and then face the water here. How cool is that, right? This is a bizarre one. Switzerland has these racks just for recycling pizza boxes. Now, of course, that's actually a good thing. Anytime you can make recycling easier, that's great. It's just weird, right? I mean, it makes sense. Pizza boxes are a weird shape, and they don't quite fit into, a lot of typical containers well. So I do understand that. It's just very bizarre. I've never seen that. They all slide in kind of like that. What is this about? You can get Wi-Fi codes from a vending machine in Germany? What? What the heck is that about? Germany also has a walk-through McDonald's for those without cars? McWalk. Is that real? That's hilarious. It's cool, right? I mean, it's just, again, you'd never see that in the U.S., right? Everything's so like drive-through, right? Big old line of cars. Or, of course, you can, be the different one, right? And walk into the store and, of course, do it that way. But there's definitely no McWalk. That is interesting. This is what some bus stops in Norway look like. Step up your game, America. Wow. Yeah, that's like a 5-star hotel compared to our bus stops. Is that common? I mean, it says what some bus stops. I'm going to assume not. If every bus stop in Norway or throughout Europe looks like this, then damn, That's impressive. I'm gonna guess that not that many look like quite extravagant like this, but look, I really appreciate it. The design, it is impressive, right? And yeah, American bus stops are, well, really rough. They're usually dirty and smelly and have graffiti on them. Yeah, you get the picture. They're not like this. This is my favorite one right here. Right here, y'all. There's a vending machine in Belgium where you can buy crates of beer. Look at this, a freaking beer vending machine. And not only beer, like you buy a bottle and it comes out. That would be cool enough. No, crates of beer? Belgium, you win. Belgium wins. This is actually kind of clever. I do like this. There's a bike shop in Copenhagen that rents out bikes that look like locals' bikes, basically, so you don't look like a tourist. That is interesting, right? Because being a tourist, should be a fun experience, right? When you're seeing somewhere new. But it can also make you a target, right? You're in a new place. You don't know what day-to-day life is like with the locals, and you probably stand out in a lot of different ways with how you look, especially being American. We tend to stand out. That's what I hear. So, I mean, anywhere where you can feel a little more at ease and blend in, so to say, I think is a good thing. So the fact that there's a business that caters to that, that's pretty smart. That's actually really neat. And of course, in Swiss cheese, right? We've all heard of that, especially in America, right? Swiss cheese is very popular. Well, naturally, you can get cheese out of a vending machine in Switzerland. That is neat, I gotta say. Well, that's about it for this one, guys. There was more stuff featured in that article, so I suppose I should, I guess I can link that in the description if you would like to check out the whole thing. That was really, really neat. A lot of those were probably, more like rare one-off things, but it was just kind of fun to look at. But I don't doubt a lot of practical things, like some of them were, stuff you could find. And when it comes to a lot of practical, city type things, public transportation type things, it is usually the case where a lot of times places in Asia, places in Europe are just a little more, or a lot more, quite frankly, ahead than the U.S., right? I still can't believe how cool that crate of beers vending machine was in Belgium. Like, that is so freaking neat. So yeah, throw a like on there if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to be part of this amazing community, and I would love to hear your thoughts down below if you want to add to this or share some cool things that you think is futuristic where you're from that maybe we don't do correctly or that we don't straight up have in the U.S. Let me hear about it. Anywho, I hope you have a great weekend. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker, and until next time, y'all, catch you later.